God is big, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. This is the part 2 to my last video, so if you haven't seen that, go see that first and then come back. Every time I see one of those star size comparison videos, my mind is just blown. Like, it's crazy how big things can get. But later on in this video, we'll see that really they're not that big compared to God. So we're going to start in the beginning in Genesis chapter 1. We're going to start in verse 14. This is where God creates the stars and the sun and the moon. And I'm going to read it. It says, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day." Now, just earlier, I drew this little smiley face picture. It's not that good of a picture. Not that big of a deal. I just made it. Um, God is saying the exact same thing about stars in that passage. In verse 16, it says, at the end of it, he says, He made the stars also. It's just like, oh yeah, I just made that. Like this. It's not really that big of a deal. I just made it earlier. I can just throw it away if I wanted. Um, but to us, the stars are a huge deal. Literally. They're these massive balls of fire and gas and radiation. But to God, it's just like, oh yeah, I just made that. Not a big deal. It says in Psalm 33, "By the word of the Lord the heavens were made," which means that even this picture, I had to pick up this pencil and draw on the paper. When God made the stars, He didn't have to lift a finger to do it. All He had to do was speak, and it was there. That is how insignificant the stars are to God. And it's the same with the whole rest of the universe. He created everything just by the words of His mouth. In fact, the stars are so small compared to God that in Isaiah 48 it says that God can measure the entire universe in the span of His hands. He can go out and be like, just about that big is the universe. And for us, we haven't even figured out how big it is yet, much less able to measure it in the span of our hands. There's this cool passage in Job 38 where God is challenging Job. I'm going to read it. I'm going to kind of put it into my own words a little bit because the words that they use are kind of confusing. So I'll put it into my own words just to help you understand. It says, God is speaking to Job. He says, "Can you bind the clusters of the Pleiades or loose the belt of Orion? Can you bring forth the zodiac in their season? Or can you guide the Great Bear with his sons. What God is trying to say here is, you are not in control, I am in control. Because you can't do any of those things that he just said. Only he can. Have you ever looked up the stars at night and questioned yourself, why? Why did God make these? What are they doing up there? If the universe is so big, why is our planet the only one that has life on it? Actually, the Bible has an answer to that question. In Psalm 19, it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard." The reason why the stars are up there and the universe is so big and is because they are glorifying God. That is what they're doing up there. I like the part where it says that there's no voice nor language where wait, I think I said that wrong. Um, there's no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. I like that part because no matter what language you speak, you can look up at the stars and say, there must have been some kind of God that created this. And that God is big. Even though our life is as a vapor, God still cares for us. It says in Psalm 8, verses 3 and 4, "When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? You are fearfully and wonderfully made, in the very image of the God that breathed out the stars unto good works, which God hath before ordained that you should walk in them." You are someone incredibly special, and you should be grateful for that. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Um, Make sure to subscribe if you want to see my next video, where we will be seeing how God quite literally holds us together. I'll see you then.